chilly, overcast, dry, a breeze that occasionally picks up, otherwise it's pretty perfect. It's been another unconvincing Six Nations for England so far. This a chance to suggest they're at least heading in the right direction. For Ireland, nigh on unbeatable, and a chance to be champions again. Quite a noise rolling around this place as Ireland kick off. And England's scrum half, no messing around, into the stands. Alex Mitchell, Gordon Darcy, Ben Kay alongside. Afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. A great day here in Twickenham. These are the days you love as players, playing out here. Old rivalry, game within a game, all the little cliches that go into it. Looking forward to how Ireland start the game, and as you know, Ben, this is an area that Ireland love to play, getting their launch right off of the set piece.
Yeah, let's see where this first line out takes us. Caelan Doris,
you pulled him down.
Rumbling over halfway.
Don't interfere with the ball.
Oh, and then Josh van der Fleer cutting a gap, finding Furlong, Tyke Furlong,
Over the shoulder, no
Jameson Gibson Park, Dan Sheehan the hooker. Andrew Porter getting his hands on the ball as well. Ireland moving it around comfortably as they do early on.
Tackle.
Nobody passes the ball more than Ireland do in this championship. They're often short-range passes, little rabbit punches, and they've drawn the first penalty. England offside, Ben.
They are an immediate indication of the threat that England face. Everyone expecting box kicking in the middle of the third of the field. We know that's going to be a massive, but England switch off, and Josh van der Fleer sees no one in behind, reaches back behind him and just picks and goes through the middle. Chesham reacts, but already Ireland in behind England, and that sets the tone for that momentum play. Ireland work away at a couple of phases. England give away the penalty for offside, and immediately Ireland have that three-point shot.
And then, Ben, where the penalty comes from, because Ireland get over the gain line, they get that 5-6 metres in behind it. English players struggling to get back onside because they know they have to get set so quickly because they're playing that rush defence, and you can just see on the outside they just miss it by a couple of inches.
Well, an Ireland team at Twickenham for the first time in a long, long time without the now retired Johnny Sexton. 16 years it's been, 2008, when Ronan O'Gara was still fly half. Today, the responsibility to this man with the biggest of futures, Jack Crowley. It's not Johnny anymore, it is Jack, and it's Ireland 3-0.
A great start, because one of the things, although Crowley's proved himself, there is pressure on such a young, inexperienced 10 coming into an atmosphere like this with so much riding on it from Ireland. I'm sure Peter O'Mahony would have been delighted to give him that early shot just to settle those nerves, get him into the game. Now he can relax into his stride.
James Lowe wasn't far away. Bundyaki was even closer. Having to find an exit 15 metres from the touchline.
Hold in front,
Lowe,
Ireland, hold!
with that prodigious left boot. The chase was a good one from Earl. Means that England will bring it back on halfway with Furbank, and Ford tries to keep up. Oh, and Tommy Freeman took the big hit. Calvin Nash might have hurt himself. He's certainly dazed, and England with a man over here, and a real opportunity. Real opportunity. Chance for Lawrence, and England score. Listen to Twickenham now.
Oh, what a response from England. All comes from Freeman. He's got no right to win that collision. He's blind to the tackle coming in, but he manages to hold his feet. And as soon as he loses Nash, it's all about, can England get the accuracy in their passing? Good counter-attack from Freeman in mid-front. Furbank in midfield. Freeman takes that hit, and now it's about picking off a 4-on-3 on the outside. Lovely hands controlling the feet. And then Ollie Lawrence, we've seen that power play in the wide channel from him for Bath all season. He hasn't had as much chance to do it in a white shirt. And England with the perfect response.
And even, Ben, you go back to the pressure on the kick. how much does that knock into that attacking phase from there? I think it's Sam Underhill, Ben Earl, just gets up, gets into the eye line of James Lowe. He doesn't get the kick that he wants away, and from that, the acceleration from Furbank just opens up all the pitch. As soon as he takes off, he accelerates, the Irish defence sits off, and they take full advantage.
Oh, there's a buzz around this place, and problems as well for Calvin Nash. He's wandering off as Ford's conversion is sent on its way. Not quite, but England 5-3. Just his second game in 2 months. Played against Scotland after missing the opening couple of rounds with the hip injury. And he knew his way to the line from there.
So we've just seen Calvin Nash leaving the field now with a head injury. Assessment certainly felt the effects of that Freeman collision, and unfortunately for Ireland, he probably would have recycled himself into that wide channel to mark Ollie Lawrence, but unable to.
Kieran Frawley's on, while Nash has the head injury assessment, the HIA. Gibson Park for Ireland, and Crowley away quickly, and Aki. Oh, look at the strength of the man. Added so much more to his game over the last few years than just a big boulder, and he's helped set this moment up for Dan Sheehan and for Ireland. And James Lowe back in field, Crowley. And no way through for Byrne. Tackle was an important one. Sam Underhill busy, and Ireland back beyond the 22. Here's Joe McCarthy. Byrne, oh no, it's beyond him. And Manny Faye-Waboso up with the tackle, draws the error from Dan Sheehan, and England have the scrum.
Yeah, great defensive set from England and great attacking passage from Ireland, all coming out in that wider channel. And you can just see here, just Hugo Keenan just under a little bit of pressure, trying to get the ball away. But all of that, like what we talked about, the passion that England need to bring to this game, and they've done that. They've stayed in that defensive set. Ireland look like they've created the opportunity in the wide channel. Defenders fight back into the line, and ultimately forcing that error then from Ireland.
It's a big win with the turnover from England, but a big warning as well. We saw Ireland there controlling their feet, so not taking the ball to the line, preserving that space to just use their hands to get around the big threat of England's blitz defence. They're happy for England to fly out of the line, and they'll just stand still, pass around it, and find those easy meters in the outside. England need that control when they get there. If they too many players bite on that blitz defence, Ireland will find a big breaks in the wider channels.
Right. You both coming in on the bind with your heads in, okay? We don't want to have a touch of the heads.
What do you mean with the head, sorry?
Heads coming in with the force on the shoulder, okay? Tempo to tempo, space.
That is part of the challenge with this defence that England are operating. That it is going to create opportunities in the wide channel. But we look at who are the best at this in the world, South Africa, their ability to scramble back and stay in defensive points that other teams don't. So I think that's exactly what England did there. There are moments they're going to create line breaks, or they're going to offer them up. But how hard are you willing to fight back in and stay in the point?
First scrum. England penalty. If England are going to give themselves a chance in this contest, and there are very few who do, they've got to get the toe hold in the set piece, and the scrum will be critical to that.
Yeah, his role is huge. That's Ty Furlong, renowned as one of the best in the world. Ellis Genge will want to attack him. He's that sort of prop, but he has to keep that control as well. So on this side, Dan Cole setting up with a slightly more aggressive stance, scrum-wise, than Porter. Porter ends up with his feet quite a long way back, and on this side, Genge, although Furlong's going for him, just happy to take that step back and almost lower him to floor, with maybe Furlong just guilty of maybe attacking slightly too much, not keeping that control. Sure that the Irish bench will be thinking, did Genge hinge at the hips?
England line out one by Itoje, Ford and Genge. Hefty surge through midfield, and it's opened up options right and left. England go left via Mitchell and Slade and Furbank. willowy runner with Northampton this season. However, Ireland manning the breakdown well, and Josh van der Fleer was there, Bundy Aki was there.
That's a really important turnover from Ireland. You just look at how impactful the English carries are at the moment. You Genge getting over the gain line there. You just see Josh van der Fleer, the red scrum hat in there, showing the right picture, gets over the ball, has won it, and then gets knocked off his feet. But you just see Robbie Henshaw coming in. Ireland they're being asked to defend here.
England looking to play, because had they not been looking to play, Ben Earl wouldn't have been on the outside. You saw him having to work off Keenan there to try and get back to van der Fleer, but he was looking for that offload. He saw a try-scoring opportunity. That's the constant balance England will face between trying to play, trying to challenge Ireland with their attacking game as well as their defensive game, but also not leaving opportunities for some of the best jacklers in the world, and van der Fleer wins the first battle there.
Well, that line-out's not smooth, over the head of Peter Amani, beyond his outstretched fingers, and Slade and England again, and beyond Furbank. Faye Waboso, he's got quite a step on him, and England in full sail at the moment early on. Oof, as flat as you like to Genge, and Ford and real pace here, and Slade away by Chesham. Tommy Freeman, strength to get him up to and beyond the 22. Genge again. England doing some heavy transporting early on. England's defence, drilled by Simon Easterby brilliantly this season again, being tested.
Just looking at how much more animated George Ford is. He wants the ball. He's asking Mitchell to get it as quickly as possible. And that's why England are playing with a lot more attacking vigour than we've seen them.
Loose bouncing ball picked up by Keenan, but only one way he was going.
Yeah, smart play from George Ford, as you're just talking about them there. He has the ball, they've got the break. Here we're seeing the transition, absolutely fantastic. Getting the ball out into the 13th channel. Look how dangerous Slade looks when he has that extra little bit of time on the ball. That transition from England, absolutely fantastic. But Ford's kick in the wider channel, the energy has gone out, the momentum's gone out of the attack. It's Furbank, sorry, and he just sticks the ball through. It's continually applying pressure. Really smart play.
He backs it up with his own tackle to win this line out for Jamie George. First chance for England to drive.
Go to the tail looking for Chesham. England get away with it.
Tackle, Ireland, tackle! No, you're over it. Tackle now!
Dennis Genge working hard early on. So too Chesham, driving through tackles, breaking that initial point of contact. Manny Faye Waboso remains a threat on this near right-hand side. Ireland with plenty of green shirts covering him, so Mitchell goes the other way. That's been lost forwards. Kieran Frawley, who's still with us, while Calvin Nesh gets attended to, and Ireland happy just to clear lines.
We appreciate your help, please.
Just trying to get that off on Porter, just putting his hand in there.
By yourself, yeah.
A little bit unfortunate, England, that wasn't given as an Ireland knock-on, maybe.
Yeah, Alex Mitchell making that point. He was pointing to the big screen as Nika Amasha-Kelly wandered back towards him, the referee.
Just hopefully it wasn't one of those moments where you say keep playing until the referee blows the whistle.
Right now, finish.
Now it's Ireland's turn to win back ball, and Aki, he saw George Ford in front of him and filled his plate.
Hold Ireland in front, everyone hold!
Crowley, looking to see how he manages this game today. Did so well down in Marseille on the opening night against
England,
France.
Hold England!
New faces in this Ireland side without some old familiar ones. More familiar than Johnny Sexton. Mitchell away to George Ford. England still with some old familiar faces involved. Low.
Ireland, hold!
Mitchell well positioned. Lowe did what he could to slow Mitchell down on the way, and it allowed plenty of time for Crowley to claim it. Dan Sheehan. Ireland spoken this week about trying to take the energy out of this Twickenham crowd early on. They know how easy it is to get lost in these situations, Gordon. Lose sight of what your task is. Ford, Feyi-Wabosa. Little slip, first test start for the Exeter man. Whirlwind month or so, debut against Italy in Rome, and now here he is a starter. And then Earl skipping his way through. Here's Jamie George over the 10-metre line. England putting it together like they did early on against Scotland up at Murrayfield and Furbank. Chesham. Going a little bit wider, finding some space. Sheehan did what he could to slow things down.
Roll away, 12! Advantage!
And England with the penalty. Tackle is just slowing the ball down illegally, so Ford with a drop goal, he's hit better ones, but he knew that the penalty was on the way.
It's just pressure, isn't it? Quick ball, good carries. You can see it from Ben Earl, building up off this phase, beating players, getting over the gain line, positive carries, and this is the one, the offload. And once you get in behind any team, it's that ability to keep applying pressure, and England doing it very, very well. We'll say Bundyaki makes a big read on that last phase, gives away a penalty, but there was an awful lot of numbers on the keep on going side if he gets that ball away.
Allen almost doing what we expected England to do in that middle part of the field. Plenty of box kicking, just trying to take the sting out of England, put some defensive pressure on them, but England finding little soft shoulders. Feyi-Wabosa first, then Ben Earl getting in behind, causing problems. We saw George Ford opting to take the shot at a drop goal, knowing that he had this opportunity for a penalty goal if he missed. That just shows England's mindset. They know they need to get that scoreboard pressure, get the scoreboard ticking over.
Well, this a kick for George Ford to take him beyond Paul Grayson's best as an England player, both at the moment on 400. Curls it in. Only Johnny Wilkinson and Owen Farrell have scored more points now for England. Rob Andrew a couple of weeks ago, and he's now just gone beyond Paul Grayson.
The other highlight for England so far, despite Allen kicking the back three a lot of ball, is but just the work of Feyi-Wabosa and Freeman working off their wings, not being stationary out there. It's something that Ireland play an awful lot, getting their players, their strike players infield and impacting the game as much as possible.
And that shows confidence to me. Players who have that willingness to go looking for it shows players who are playing with the utmost confidence.
Ben Earl, man of the match here against Wales a few weeks ago.
No.
The busiest ball carrier in the championship over the first 3 weekends. Mitchell under a bit of pressure there from Sheehan. Didn't have time to hang around, and he didn't. However, Kieran Frawley doesn't hang around either. But look at the tackling. George Martin rolling in. Ireland penalty.
Elbows on the ground.
And this is a determined Van der Fleer.
Okay, no advantage. You have to roll away, by the way, there, please. Elbows on the ground.
Just guilty of giving away that penalty, but again, the kick chase really, really good. It was a perfect kick from Mitchell right onto the touchline, penning Allen there, and then, as we've seen all season, not worked all the time for England, with Henry Slade flying up, leading that charge in midfield, but blocking Allen, getting wide as they wanted to. Unfortunately for England, they'd given away the penalty.
Well, the news from the doctor's room down below is that poor old Calvin Nash has failed his head injury assessment, hurt himself on the way to England's try, so Kieran Frawley will get an extended opportunity to re-underline what he's all about. Good.
Yeah, Hugo Keenan switching into to fill in that wing spot. I think there's a bit of fluidity in that back three as well. Kieran Frawley going to pop up as that second receiver quite often, so kind of the numbers on the back don't matter a huge amount, but what does matter is this set piece and winning this. Ireland's taking the safety option, going straight to the front.
One by Omani, Van der Fleer and Aki. Oh! Tackle coming in from Underhill. But still Ireland. Doris. Oh, England have got it back. Oh no, illegally. Ollie Lawrence was there.
Rocky's formed. You jackled from the offside position. Rocky's already formed. Yeah, you jackled from offside.
Going to attack the ball as the jackler, the player over the ball, as Ben Earl was there. You've got to be behind the hindmost foot, and the referee decided he was
directly behind the ball as well. You can't come in from an angle. That's what the referee didn't like. Watch Ollie Lawrence here. Gets back to his feet, and you can see that right foot paints a bad picture to the referee. The right foot was a long way forward, so he's rolled in the tackle. It's difficult for him. He had no awareness. All his eyes are directed at the ball, but you can see why that penalty's been given. Just fell awkwardly and then got up, played the ball, should have just left it. Maybe needed some help from his teammates.
And that just shows what a competitive area. For me, this is the kind of the winning and losing of the game. That ruck and that contest around at the moment. England probably a little bit on top.
Now the lead cut to a couple. Rory Best, Grand Slam winning captain, is with us today. He's down in the posh seats below us. What are you making of this first 20 minutes, Rory?
Yeah, I think it's been an absolutely fascinating first 20 minutes. I think it's just the physicality that England are bringing, both sides of the ball, both in their carries and their attack, but also in the defence. And I think Ireland now will be very happy with that penalty just to keep themselves in this game. But they're going to have to work hard with that physicality, and England are getting some big wins.
We talked a little bit, and I know Ireland talked about it before the game, Rory, about not being overwhelmed by the Twickenham experience when it does get noisy. I'm not suggesting there are signs of that just yet, but you'll have had to deal with that in your time as well.
Yeah, it's just about momentum, isn't it? You know, trying to stop that momentum, and the best way to do that is to get the ball and keep the ball. And silly mistakes like this, like going into touch, England have been very good at the breakdown, slowing Ireland and turning them over. So Ireland just need to get a hold of the ball, just get territory, and that's how you take the sting out of it. That's how you take the momentum out of the game.
Thanks, Rory.
First uncharacteristic mistake we've seen from Bundy Aki for a while, isn't it? Taking on Ollie Chesham. Chesham's injured himself, maybe just compressed the nerve in his shoulder there. See the weight of that hit coming through, the power of the key, but he gets him into touch, and that's a big no-no. It's almost akin to turning the ball over. Have to fight to stay on the dance floor.
Yeah, I think Ollie Chesham just realised how robust Bundy Aki is. He won't be the first player to feel like that after tackling that particular individual. But listen, that's what Ireland do out of the 22s. They carry the ball, they like to get that first phase outside of the 22 and try to create an angle, and Bundy saw the number 6 and thought he'd have a cut.
50th test start, by the way, for the Connacht man today, Bundy Aki. And a first test start in the back row for Leicester's Ollie Chesham. Switched into the back row from number 5 to number 6, which means there's no room for Ethan Roots today. George Martin, his Leicester teammate, into the second row. Another Leicester man, Dan Cole, part of that short line-out. Jamie George towards the 22, Genge, and now Earl.
Tackle!
Byrne wasn't far away. Beyond Martin to Ford, Feyu Aboso. But little ball to him was well read by Sheehan. Ford, drop goal, lots of time again, not the best. And Josh van der Fleer was on him in a flash anyway. Martin. And then Underhill.
He's rolled.
Genge.
No, you pulled him in.
Ford, a bit more room, and spreads it to Slade.
Over the shoulder.
No, at the moment, keeping England's threat outside the 22, however. Mitchell, a little bit exposed. Took it in. But there was a penalty on the way.
Another attempt to drop goal from George Ford. Obviously worked a couple of times for them in the World Cup. It's a big Steve Borthwick tactic, something he used with Leicester as well. Sort of died out of fashion a little bit, hasn't it, the drop goal. And back when Johnny Wilkinson was hitting them, I think a few of us were thinking that they're going to have to strike this off, because a team can be doing nothing wrong, get a drop goal against them, and suddenly 3 points out of nowhere can hugely affect the psychology of the game. But then it almost died out naturally on its own. George Ford trying to bring it back.
Well, England have the opportunity to go for 3 points, but they feel happy about life at the moment, and they're going to give it a go from this line out. And if they give it a go successfully, there's a fair chance that Jamie George might be on the end of it. He will be the man to start the process. Line-out called by Maro Itoje. It went to the front. Oh! Smart, but Sheehan was on it in a flash.
Back, Ireland, push back.
Underhill waiting. Here he goes. England trying things at the front of the line-out. Very nearly worked, and then Ireland have ripped it back. In the deepest of danger. Fabulous work over the ball.
You see that blue headband or head scrum cap of Ty Byrne. You have to be aware as Furbank is going again.
Furbank, Feyi Waboso. Tackled by Omani. What a fantastic game this is. Real energy about it from both sides. Ford. And then Furbank. Keeps his place ahead of Freddie Stewart today.
It's a big carry from Martin. He was stationary, but he got the extra couple of yards, just saved his team there.
No hands. Good job.
Ferocious tackling coming in from Ireland. England exploring the fringes. Lawrence, the try scorer, and then the chase for Freeman. Bouncing ball, a difficult one for Ireland. Ollie Lawrence with two. England with two.
That's a speculative nudge through, but Frawley took an age to turn. Just think they might check this in the background just to check everyone's onside. But that outside of the right boot to thread the ball through into the danger area. Watch Frawley at the back and how long he takes to turn there and get back. That allows two England players to get up. Is there a little knock-on from England before Lawrence picks up the ball? That'll be the question.
By White or not?
There's the chip through
off the try,
from Lawrence. How about that from Furbank? Is that knocked on?
Yeah, that one we are looking.
Certainly looks like it goes forward. Is it pushed forward?
Yeah, that's it.
No, he's got control of that. Furbank, for me, that's a knock-on.
But Nika, can we slow down? They just check thing.
Yeah, right. Ben, we are on the knock-on here. Just I'll give you time for a...
Yeah.
Right.
What's really good from the English attack in the lead up to this is Ollie Lawrence, and one of the things Ireland is struggling to do is to slow down the English ball. The knock-on effect is when Ollie Lawrence gets that ball in behind the Irish defence line, he has time with the ball in hand to fish Kieran Frawley up, because you've said it, as he sees Kieran Frawley coming up, then he puts the kick in behind and he creates that. It's a beautiful kick, so close to being almost perfect.
There's going to be no try. We've got a clear knock-on back. No, hang on. We slow it down.
Jamie George just been told that it's no try. I think he's questioning what they'll come back to.
There's no try. Knock-on. We're waiting for a footage.
Twickenham man, woman and child not entirely happy, but I suspect once they see the replays when they get home, they'll realise that that was the right decision.
Right, Ben, you okay there?
Yeah, keep going through, mate. I'm just checking things about. Just keep going through.
Okay, no try, no con.
Net result, Ireland defensive squad.
Yeah,
but England are exposing Ireland's defence.
Jamie, don't come like that.
Absolutely, Ireland are struggling. We're seeing this again, the slow motion of the knock-on from
actually the head of Frawley that bangs into the elbow of Furbank that dislodges the ball, so slightly fortunate, but at the moment, the way the game's going, Ireland need a bit of fortune. Haven't found a foothold into this game yet, but they probably expected that. Away at Twickenham, England completely written off by many. England have had a really strong first 25 minutes.
England completely written off by most. I can't ever remember coming here, whoever England were playing, Gordon, and having so few England supporters in the week, thinking that they might win so good and beat this Ireland side up to here.
Yeah, we can sure that wasn't the message in the Irish camp. But at the moment, you've got to look at what we have, and Ireland are struggling to deal with England at the moment.
Well, rather unconventionally cleared away, but it all works.
Release him.
Strong scrum from Dan Cole there. Porter was really attacking him. Cole went with his feet a long way back, just anchored in and nudged back, and meant that England now get the ball at this line out rather than it being an Irish pudding.
Just for Ireland, the big challenge is they seem to be setting a little bit narrow in defence, and they're really struggling in the wider channels, but that's coming from their inability to slow down the English rucks. We always talk about how well Ireland do with their quick ruck speed. At the moment, England are the ones really dominating those carries, getting over the gain line and getting the super quick ball, and they just look a completely different team in this first 25 minutes.
Taken by Martin, who's discarded his headgear. Earl. Remember that England started really brightly actually against Scotland, at least for the first quarter, then lost control of the game. What can Ireland do here to try to wrestle a little bit of it back? There's only 2 points in it. But England have been busy so far. Ireland, however, the old Les Kiss thing, keeping the ball off the floor, frustrating the team who took it into contact and winning it back via the scrum.
It's Furbank that gets caught. Just reacted slightly late. Didn't realise quite quickly enough that he was going to get caught. He's trying to get his left knee down. You can see that Henshaw swings round, so Van der Fleer makes the initial contact, gets his arms underneath the balls, prevents Furbank from dropping his knees and getting to ground, and then Henshaw comes and shuts the gate in behind on the England side to prevent the support coming in and assisting Furbank. Ireland, the pass masters of it, as you said, Les Kiss, the very forefront of developing that tactic.
Yeah, and listen, they've done the hard bit now. Now it's about a bit of game management. Jack Crowley hasn't seen much of the ball. He's asked to do plenty of tackling. But how he manages this area of the field, this time on the game, 26, Ireland have been starved of possession for so long. They've worked hard to get this scrum. Really need to get a positive outcome here from it.
Jameson Gibson Park, best player on the pitch during Ireland's win here 2 years ago. Picked up by Doris, and here is Gibson Park. Got the kick away before the tackle came in from Faye Wabose.
Just watching that scrum and Dan Cole and Porter's battle is fascinating. Porter gets inside Cole, maybe gets his hips out to the side, drives through. Cole has to take a couple of steps back, and that's what creates the space on the blind side for Ireland to attack and kick. Just watch there, the in just gets inside in there and underneath. Cole gets into an unfortunate position, the ball spills out and they create a 2-on-1 on the outside. Gibson Park, an easy kick down into the England half.
For anybody who missed it, Peter O'Mahony tapping up Andrew Porter's elbow.
Early on the lifter. Early on the lifter.
Penalty going against Ireland because just a little bit too soon as England tried to bring the ball back down. Safety issue.
Early on the lifter.
Ben Youngs and Johnny May, you may have heard over the last week or so, both suggesting that England don't invest enough time in attack at the moment. Such
push back.
is their focus on defence. They've been doing all right in attack so far.
The primary aspect of attacks, I'm sure we're going to see this now, he's getting over the gain line. Give it to that man and he gets you 5 metres out of the gain line. Attack is an awful lot easier from there on out.
Really is.
Play on. Advantage.
And England with the penalty.
Offside, number 12. Never back.
With the free ball stripped away by Van der Fleer, but it is still England's to conjure with.
The advantage England.
Ford.
Mark, please.
Looking for Lawrence. Lawrence got there, but not cleanly.
Yeah.
Just the difference between England from post 10 minutes in the Scotland game to this game is how much less hesitant they are in terms of running the lines. People are just going, right, I'm going and you're going to find me. And Ollie Lawrence and George Ford look so much more comfortable with each other's relationship at the moment. We saw that with Ollie Lawrence being able to not break stride, just crash over the game line, knowing George Ford was going to put it on a plate for him.
But Ben, as well, in these games, in the build-up to it, right, there's an awful lot of ifs that have been put out. If we do this, if we do that. But you need to ultimately do it on the pitch, and that's exactly what England have done here. Look at Ollie Lawrence in between two players, getting over the gain line. You're now turning the what we can do into this is what we are doing. And that's really, it's excellent from England, but that's not somewhere Ireland have been in a while. So this is really testing Ireland, and we're seeing the actual character of these English players coming out. It's a simple game plan, brutally simple, but they're executing it really well.
That's a poor miss. There is a breeze twiddling around the stadium, but George Ford won't use that as an excuse. It remains a 2-point game, half an hour gone. Remains, however, England's best half an hour of this Guinness Six Nations so far, and perhaps Ireland's most challenging half an hour. Gordon, we go along with that?
Absolutely. I think this is as big a test from that opening 10 minutes from where they decided to give the All Blacks a 13-point head start. So
look at that ball. That's a tough one to catch, and Frawley did well. The Leinsterman.
No, end. Ireland hold in front, everyone hold.
Handling that away to Ford, 10-10.
England hold.
And again, another high test for Ireland's replacement fullback Kieran Frawley on for Hugo Keenan after the thrill of a first test start and then a first test try against Wales a fortnight ago, and talking afterwards about how it happened in front of his family in the South Stand as well.
Ford's been a revelation with ball in hand in comparison to the last couple of weeks, but his kicking's just letting him down slightly at the moment, a little bit too far there to allow Freeman to get up and compete before the mark was called. Actually saw the missed goal kick as well. His spiral bomb maybe just had a little bit too much distance on it as well. His actual attacking game, which is what a lot of England fans have wanted to see, has been a totally new and better, more improved George Ford.
Just to reiterate, as much as Frawley has come on for Calvin Nash, the winger, and Frawley playing at fullback, Hugo Keenan, who started at 15, has pushed away onto the right-hand side. That's where he's defending now, waiting for whatever kick England might choose to launch in his direction. And it is Keenan running towards this. He was beaten to it, however, by Freeman's left palm. And still with the ball.
Wait. Okay, you gotta use it.
Further. Just to run around Keenan, but not Doris.
That's a tackle, Ireland! No.
Free.
He's coming to get
Tommy Freeman.
Brilliant from a key. It's almost part of the tackle. He's not the initial tackler, but he rides the tackle and uses his body weight on top of Ollie Chesham so that he's not still connected, but he stays in position directly behind the ball. Just watch him ride it there, clear release, and then onto the ball.
Ben, you were talking about George Ford there just in the build-up to this. One of the things is kind of in the last 13 minutes or so, an awful lot more kicking creeping into the English game, which again is kind of contradictory to what's been working so well for them in the opening 20 minutes, that ability to attack off those kicks. You're getting George Ford in the backfield, he's carrying it 15 metres and then putting up a bomb. England, when they've been so dangerous, they've attacked and they've looked to attack and continue. Just seems they've let a little bit of that out, and Ireland that seems to be bringing Ireland back into the game a little bit.
A chance for Jack Crowley to restore Ireland's lead that he gave them very early on. First time here, by the way, first time at Twickenham. He grew up back home in Shannon with Rugby Post in the field next door. I wonder if he's imagining that he's back there now. And a few more people watching on for the lead. Oh yes, just wow. Didn't look as if it had the legs, but divine intervention.
I love that call from Peter O'Mahony. Ireland haven't really had that attacking foothold in the game they would have wanted. England, it's all been England dominance in the first 35 minutes of the game, but Ireland have kept that scoreboard ticking over. A bit of a shot to nothing from just inside the England half. And now, how can England deal mentally with having played so well, but being behind on the scoreboard just before half-time?
He gets Ireland going again. England determinedly all over Tadhg Furlong. Low.
Ireland hold in front, everyone hold.
And that left boot. Such a handy exit from positions of peril.
Yeah, much better from Ireland, and you see the slow motion of this kick, and it had every inch of it is from Cork. Look at that. That young man's face says everything. And a good exit from Ireland as well. England have put them under pressure, the last two of them they've had. But a good kick, good carry from Tadhg Furlong in the midfield, and James Lowe finally getting his range in.
Hold, ball.
Into the final 5 minutes of a first half that's kept everyone's attention. Mitchell, Slade, Ford just a little bit further wide, and now Faye were Boso, and Furbank was flying onto that. In the end, they were asking too much of him.
Robbie Henshaw, that is an absolutely fantastic read in the wider channels. Look at all this. Players, look at Henshaw. He's holding the space and just flies in, gets Weboso with the ball. Furbank's eyes are looking at Keenan's. That is a beautiful read and really hard to do. You can see he's in the channel. He's pointing for the defenders. He's holding the space and makes a big read.
Just a slight, not miscommunication, but just breakdown. Maybe not played together very often there, but Furbank was just starting to straighten as Faye Weboso threw a pass, thinking that Furbank was going to go on the outside. So he threw a pass for him to run into that wider space, try and create a 2-on-1 with their pace. Furbank had decided to straighten hard and try and get back on the inside shoulder.
No room for Gary Ringrose in Ireland's midfield today, despite the fact that he's over his shoulder injury. He is here. He was part of the warm-up crew. Robbie Henshaw has actually overtaken Kevin Maggs and Brendan Mullen for starts in Ireland's midfield. Only Brian O'Driscoll and Gordon Darcy remain ahead of him. But that's an interesting selection, sticking with Henshaw ahead of Ringrose. No reason to change, I suppose.
Well, he got in there through injury, playing in the 13 channel. His jersey he's quite familiar with from his early days, but he's played predominantly for 12 for Leinster and for Ireland. And he just looks rejuvenated with that extra little bit of time and space in the 13 channel. And that defensive read, both sides of the ball, he's very, very physical defender. But having that ability, that confidence to stay straight, stay big in the space. And as much as you're saying, Ben, the pass isn't great. The fact that Henshaw stays in that space means it's hard for him to pass into it.
This is a massive scrum now. If you're England, you're saying, look, 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Where we are field position-wise, is it worth just throwing the kitchen sink, maybe risk giving away a penalty? But if England can turn over and get that penalty back, strike off the last Irish penalty, could be a big moment. Porter there just going slightly defensive, but doing a really good job of holding Cole firm.
Low.
12, stay, you guys.
He's more been kicking than running in this first half, but he's a very good kicker. Oh, and now it's a brilliant kick, because as Furbank took it, both boots hit the line, and Ireland will have an attacking line out with a couple of minutes to go to half-time.
And that is how to turn a bad kick into a good one. Furbank gets his positioning all wrong. Not sure, is it going to be in? Is it going to stay out? I don't even think he expected the ball to carry as far as it was, and he just lost his lost where he was in relation to the line.
This couldn't be better from an Ireland attacking standpoint. Exactly the sort of line-out they thrive off. Bundy Aki, James Lowe on the inside of Crowley.
We got a block. Time off. We got a block.
Just to challenge George Ford and Ben Earl defensively, try and hold them, preserve that space in the wide channel for Keenan to exploit.
Well, we saw what Tui Palotto and Jones did against that England midfield defence a couple of weeks ago at Murrayfield, and these feel like championship moments, don't they?
Oh, listen, without a shadow of a doubt, but listen, the momentum swing here is firmly back in the Irish camp at the moment, and they absolutely need to do something here.
Gibson Park, low, to Aki, here he goes, cuts back inside. And then Sheehan. Ireland looking for their first try just before half-time, and England offside, Ireland penalty. But the hope of much more to come. Henshaw lays it back. O'Mahony, and very nearly through, but Byrne wasn't far away.
Offside, number 10 and number 5.
That is a huge shot from Martin. I know the penalty had already been given away, but Byrne thought he was through there. He got cut in half and dislodged the ball.
Number 10 and number 5 offside in the back.
It all shows when Bundy Aki and James Lowe get over the gain line, how much easier and how much freer Ireland's attack looks. And that'll be the basis for Andy Farrell's team talk at half-time, and I'm sure from an England defensive perspective as well, trying to stop that.
Yeah, very little surprise. Peter O'Mahony going for the 3 points, but just the one little thing in the build-up to that, the little sleight of hand from Caelan Doris, coming around the corner, looks like the one-off, and just leaves it up into the space. Peter O'Mahony just glides around, goes in, and that's effectively what wins the penalty for them.
And number 10. Sorry, not number 5, sorry.
There's an awful lot for Johnny Wilkinson, Lawrence Dallaglio, Brian O'Driscoll, Rory Best as well to chew over at half-time. But Jack Crowley's boot stretches Ireland's lead. England's best half so far in this championship, but look who's ahead. Ireland 40 minutes away now from retaining the title. Half-time at Twickenham, England 8, Ireland 12.
But that was every week at Wigan for him, I think.
Brian, do you think Ireland would have just settled down? That penalty maybe just for half-time, just settled them down a little bit?
Yeah, they'll just be looking to get a bit of possession and you know, try and take England through multiple phases. I wouldn't say they've gotten over 5 or 6 phases, which is unusual for Ireland. They score a lot of tries after 10 phases. Possession, possession, possession.
I think this first 10 minutes is up for grabs. Whichever team shows what they've got, I think will hold on maybe for the rest of the half. Ireland will be desperate to pick up where they just left off.
What a big second half ahead with Gordon Darcy, Ben Kay and Nick Mullins.
Andy Farrell, Steve Borthwick, old Saracens mates. That was good to see. That's how much it matters. As England and George Ford get us going in this second half. Decent chase from Feyu Aboso.
It's inside. Inside.
Palm to ball, however. So Ireland and Jameson Gibson Park, and then Lowe can clear the lines. England's fullback is Furbank.
Hold England, hold.
The fly half is. He's done a lot of that, George Ford, so far. Lots of tests, and it wasn't gathered cleanly by Jack Crowley, whose points have Ireland ahead and England have the scrum.
Much better distance on the kick from George Ford, though. Real kick to compete. And then the chase just getting in the eye line of Crowley. Makes the error, gives England a really nice start to this half.
Next season's fixtures, by the way, were released just a few hours ago.
We improved last time, we improved the space. It was
opening weekend, opening Saturday night in Dublin. Ireland,
really well, so same.
That'll be worth looking forward to. Ireland, by the way, end the tournament in Rome on the final weekend. England end theirs in Cardiff. Much to look forward to in 12 months' time.
Crunch! Fine!
Just a reminder that Scotland's defeat in Rome a few hours ago means that an Ireland win here
Use the ball!
will confirm them as champions again. Slade, now Ford, and England running it with Feyu Aboso.
Never touched him back.
Ford once more, and then he's hit back hard by Keenan. And Ireland working so hard at the breakdown, increasingly to win back ball in their 22.
We said in the opening half, Ireland defence really struggling to get to grips with the English attack. Just the spacing there off that scrum a little bit better. You can see when Slade was carrying the ball, nobody was biting on him. So those little passes out the back, a little bit more discipline from the spacing and discipline in the Irish defence. And you're going to see here now Hugo Keenan getting in there, big hit on George Ford. Just their options, his options with the ball, Ben, where he had 3-4 in the first half, don't seem to be there as much.
It's that accuracy, but also there you've got two players in Earl and Lawrence running exactly the same line. Just that communication, that small chat between each other off the ball, so that you don't do that, because the penalty's given away, because Lawrence is committing as a ball carrier and then realises he's got to clear out Earl and comes in from the side rather than directly behind the ball.
Don't move in, they will stay on the gap. Don't push the gap.
Got the hooker with that little half a step away to the left again, as they all do these days, with England just following Sheehan, picked up by Nika Amashakeli, the Georgian referee. Toje trying to work out where it's going. It's going to Peter O'Mahony, Ireland's captain again today.
It's a tackle now. Use it.
No changes to either side at half-time, by the way. Freeman came in, but he didn't bring the ball away. Instead, it was Hugo Keenan playing on the right wing now after the early injury to Calvin Nash, and this is Caelan Doris and Ireland putting it through the hands for the first time. Henshaw, and then this is Frawley, and the try for Lowe. What champions do. Precious time, ball in hand so far today at Twickenham, but they don't need much.
Transition, that is absolute perfection from Ireland there. You can see from the box kick, English players trying to escort, actually get in the way of Freeman there. Hugo Keenan getting the ball, but look at this transition and this pass, the delay pass from Crowley, sees him in the outside of his line, and then it's just hands the 3-on-2 in the wide channel, and a lovely finish from James Lowe, almost teasing with them as he goes over in the corner.
It's a brilliant finish, the accuracy, the way they've got that control to pick off the England defenders, but another example of England getting cut with the new defensive system and that slight hesitation. The defensive systems work perfectly while England have been on top, but as soon as there's a change over there, you've got one player in Slade who's used to doing it, flying out of the line, and Lawrence, who's not used to doing it, just hesitates for a fraction of a second because it's not a second nature to him. Slade and Lawrence get so far away from each other, it's just that delay and then the ball between them that gets to the outside.
And it's that crucial pass from Crowley, from Jack Crowley. He gets up in his eye line, he waits for him to come up past the ball and then passes it in behind his back. Absolute composure from the young Irish out half.
James Lowe amongst the try scorers when Ireland won here a couple of years ago. Tap down against Wales in Dublin, splash down here against England.
It's in. It's in.
It's Crowley acting as scrum half. Van der Fleer,
off.
88 years and 60 tests, by the way, since he introduced himself to international rugby against England. Josh Van der Fleer. And that's a familiar exit strategy off the left boot of Lowe.
Now, we saw against Scotland the mistake in midfield and how that rocked England's psychology. He sort of fell apart after the Duhan van der Merwe try. Can they put this behind them? That slight error in defence, the try, and build from what they were doing in the first half.
Forward as England try to reset, rebuild. Ben Earl. Slade. And now Freeman galloping onto it. Just a hint that his boots might have been in touch there, but Andrea Piardi, the assistant referee on this near side, was unmoved. And anyway, it's Ireland ball. And Joe McCarthy.
He tipped over on his own player. Release him, release him, release. Play. Use it now.
She goes in to provide an extra metre of serve insurance for this clearing kit, and it was needed because Toje was onto it. Ford on one leg to Slade. Faye Weboso outside Lawrence. Lawrence took the hit, and it was nice from Earl to keep that alive.
Tackle.
George, Ford, and now Underhill. Oh, he gets it away nicely to Atajo. This is lovely, and this is Furbank, and that is England at their Six Nations best this season. Just signs today, it's beginning to click, and clicking against one of the best in the world. George Furbank for England.
At times, all it's needed for England earlier in the championship is for them to back themselves and go when it's on. And they do that. I think Feyu Oboso's added a different dimension. He's a live wire. He's almost sparked some energy in the team. This was a lot earlier on in the phases, miles before, but here, George Ford just buying space, dragging defenders out of the line, and then the interconnect between the two second rows, Martin and Itoje. Once they've got into that wide channel to hold those defenders.
It's fine, it's fine.
And then it's all about the foot race. Furbank's got it. And as you said, Nick, that's as fluid of England as England have looked since pre-World Cup.
Ford's not been the best off the kicking tee so far today. Has to pull England back to within 2. Gap remains 4.
Yeah, maybe it's just desserts for there's a very familiar face in the crowd, Owen Farrell. Probably maybe just desserts. It looked like Freeman had his feet fairly well in touch there. But England look absolutely fantastic on the transition. So when Ireland kicking loosely to them, it really invites them onto that ball, and you're seeing the absolute best of Furbank, Oboso and Freeman in that back 3.
George Furbank with the first test try at Murrayfield 2 weeks ago, and the second here this evening. Itoje up there. Really good chase from Keenan that forces the knock-on. So Ireland with the advantage, and Byrne, and then clipped away by Frawley. There's Crowley going to the arms of Lawrence. So back we come.
Finish. Always under pressure, we go back for a knock-on. Take off pressure, now we go.
Defeat in Edinburgh a fortnight ago was the first time that Steve Borthwick thought that the England shirt was just weighing a little bit heavily on the shoulders of his players.
We've got a slight overlean on the last front here. Yeah, pose up here.
Saying all along that it's as good as they played in this championship. With an absolute measure of where Ireland are right now, that it's they who have the lead. Ireland making a change. Conor Murray is coming on for Kieran Frawley, and Jameson Gibson Park. I wonder whether Gibson Park is going to go onto the wing.
That's exactly where he's going, and unfortunately this is the reality of the 6-2 split. You lose a player in the first couple of minutes, you lose a player at all, you get 2 injuries, and you have to massively reshuffle your back line. So this is the least reshuffle that Ireland can do at the moment.
It's a worry, isn't it? With so much time left on the clock, you cannot afford another injury in that back line now.
Frawley's gone off for a head injury assessment, so hopefully we'll see him back. But Ireland with 6 forwards on the bench and just the 2 backs, which means that Gibson Park, who's done a little bit of wing work previously, will have a bit more to do now.
Yeah, and he's a quality footballer, and as you said, he's been on the wing a couple of times. I think crucially for Ireland, the fact that the 10, 12, 13 isn't having to readjust, it keeps some sort of continuity there. Conor Murray, an incredibly experienced out half, exactly who you want to be introduced at this time, so there will be continuity there for Ireland at least.
Ireland scrum, first put in for Conor Murray. 2 scrum halves, by the way, on the bench today with a combined age of 71. Any care waiting for England. Not many records that Conor Murray doesn't hold right now, but he won't be putting that ball in. Overeager from Andrew Porter, it would have seemed. Certainly that's the way Nika Amashakeli's gaze was directed. It's a collective effort all the time, however, and the net result is an England free kick. Sheen very close to it, but Ford high again. Here's the new winger, Gibson. Oh, came down with a thud.
His own man that he tripped over there, wasn't it?
Porter.
Not used.
Murray. Dink over the top. Ford there. Freeman offered a measure of security initially.
No, it's not.
Martin takes on Doris. It needed Van der Fleer in the end to stop him. He's England's most percussive runner, you would say, George Martin, certainly biggest tackler. Adds extra muscle when he's on. Crowley up, not cleanly. Tommy Freeman was in the way. Ireland still have it. Murray, Porter, Crowley, and then Keenan. Nicely away by Henshaw. Again, these little short passes, Ben.
But a good example there of England's blitz defence working. They've been done for Boso having a second attack at the ball, having initially lost it. A popular decision here, but much better with England's defence. But they're happy when they're controlled and they know what they're doing. It's when the game transitions and the ball's turned over that they just lack a beat. But let's have a look at this decision here. Maybe they're guilty of the hands going on the floor first before he comes back to the ball, but just been shown on the big screen. I'm not sure all those white-shirted fans agree.
It's tight. What you're not allowed to do is to put your hands beyond the ball and then scrape it back, and Nika Amashakeli felt that Manny Feyo-Oboso had done that. England are changing their entire front row. 16, 17, 18. Theo Dan, Joe Marler, Will Stewart on for Ellis Genge, Jamie George and Dan Cole.
Quite early change, isn't it? 53, I know it happens often, but those three that are just coming off have scrummaged really, really well. Big pressure on those first couple of scrums for the new men to make sure that stays the case in the mind of the referee.
Okay, that's good.
Meantime, Dan Sheehan with this attacking Ireland line-up round to the front. Taken on by Murray. McCarthy, Joe McCarthy, one of the headline makers in this championship so far.
Ball is there, your players, trapped by your players.
Doris. Always eagerly. Crowley, ooh, this is going to be a tough one. On the 5-metre line, and that was really nicely taken. Feyo-Oboso was up there and certainly helped it back on the white side initially. That was a heavy bomb for England to defuse.
They had a great take in the backfield, really competitive. Ref really clear with his directions. English ball, white ball. Ireland need to keep England in here, squeeze them, force them to exit from here, not giving away penalties. This is a really hard corner to get out of. So discipline here from Ireland.
George Ford as far back in the in-goal area as he can be. And it's his job to wallop it away as far as he can, but it'll be an Ireland line out inside England's 22. Tommy Freeman is down taking some repairs as well. England with Danny Kerr, Marcus Smith and Elliot Daly. They do have 3 backs ready to act as replacements on the bench. There's Freeman. And there's Danny Kerr. When he comes on, it'll be for the 100th time. And, Elliot Daly next door to him, making way as a starter today. Well, Kieran Frawley has failed his HIA, so a couple of failed HIAs for Ireland this afternoon. First Calvin Nash replaced by Kieran Frawley, and now Kieran Frawley replaced by Conor Murray. Will give Ireland some selection issues potentially ahead of their final game against Scotland in Dublin next weekend.
Well, we cross that bridge when we get to it. Still 25 more minutes to go in this game, and a rare opportunity for Ireland in the English 22.
Martin was up quickly, but it might be another Ireland line out. Martin palming it out himself.
Wait. Stay.
The wind's picked up a little bit. Certainly, there's a bit of moisture in the air as well. Not wanting to go too long initially. Happy to go to Omani coming forward. Well read from Martin.
Burn stepped forward to take it into the arms of Van der Fleer. Murray searching for it. There it is. Bundyaki. You don't see that happen very often. Snaffled by Lawrence. Just probably got done by the man alongside him, Lowe, who just got slightly in front, had to check his run, and that almost put the key off from the catch. Freeman's kick. Ford calls the mark, doesn't hang around. Full of intrigue though, isn't it? It's a good game to watch right now, Good.
It's absolutely, it's so finely balanced, and you can still see both teams. There's still the kind of trying to feel each other out, trying desperately not to make a mistake. And ironically, when you're playing trying not to make a mistake, that's when it pops up.
It's this stage of the game. England knew they had to fly out the blocks. We saw them do that. They need really to keep playing like that, but the pressure of the situation just made them go inside themselves a little bit now.
Ireland shortening the line out. They've got Josh Van der Fleer with his favourite red cap standing out in midfield, but England win it back. Underhill to Earl. Earl's had another brilliant game, and off he goes, cutting through the green wood. Mitchell. And penalty conceded by Peter O'Mahony.
A yellow card as well. Clear line break. If you give a penalty away straight after a line break, often a yellow card follows. Just a decision to make here.
Time is off.
Another good break from Earl. The referee's going to go and have a little discussion with Omani.
No, sorry, sir. I don't need you here, please. Apologies, sir. All right, it's a line break. You dived over the rock and you got a ball. That's a physical after the line break.
Ireland for the next 10 minutes. Without one of their talisman, without their skipper, Peter O'Mahony.
Diving over the rock, filling the ball. Around it. Can you give me a number?
Very much. A signature Ben Earl break, that wasn't it? You've seen him do it. He loves those midfield expanses where he can use that power, that low slung centre of gravity. Just accelerates through, gets away from Sheehan, kicks his legs away. Really good step on Lowe. And Omani, having made the tackle, just maybe overcompetes, desperate to slow England down. And because it's after a line break, trying to slow the England ball down, no decision. But a yellow card for the referee to make.
Marcus Smith on for George Ford and England. And over the top and caught by Underhill. Off England go. Theo down in the middle of all that.
Stay there. Don't come. Don't stay there.
Ireland without O'Mahony. And here's the man who started it all. Earl. England with the advantage. Lawrence repositioning himself. Instead it's Faye Wabosa. Really important tackle from Lowe. Martin. Off he goes. Oh, that close.
Hands on the ground. No. New advantage.
Dan's there. England with the advantage. Lawrence, Smith, Slade, all a little bit too rushed in the end, but it might yet work for Furbank. England still with the advantage. Marla. Darkening skies over Twickenham, but England bright right now. Martin again. Mitchell looking for white shirts, going on his own. Underhill, Chesham, a mighty drive. Brilliant from Sheehan to stay underneath him. But that close, England. Theo Dan waits, beyond him. Instead, it's England and it's Earl. And England ahead.
Well, the response from England is huge. We saw them go back to that power game. Allen's defence good. Maybe England slightly fortunate, because I think when Henry Slade played the ball on the floor, he regathered it. And as he was on the floor, he probably shouldn't be able to, but they won't be able to go back and check it. Too many phases. and then it was about the power game. And Ben Earl, who's really led this resurgence from England in the last 5-10 minutes or so, comes away with the points.
Well, Ben, where does the try, where does the start? Takes a player going off script, taking the ball, nothing on here. I'm going to go back down the short side of the ruck. Let's see what I can find down there. And he finds a line break that ultimately ends up as a 7-pointer.
England 20, Ireland 17, 20 minutes to go.
Power carriers in the forwards making a difference there. Ollie Chesham got very, very close, gave England the field position. That meant Ireland had to get really close around the breakdown, and that gives the opportunity for someone like Ben Earl, one-on-one, even against the power of Aki, can use his footwork, and from that distance, Aki has to overcommit to the tackle. But lovely to see England playing that slightly wider out. So often we've seen them on the opposition goal line go, pick and go, and not use any sort of variation in their attack. And this time they vary it and they come away with 7 points.
Ireland have run the changes. Ian Henderson's on. He's amongst the chasers here. So too Jack Conan. Joe McCarthy and Josh van der Fleer have made their exits. Finley Beelan's the new tight head prop. And Twickenham in full voice. Ireland change at hooker as well. It'll be Ronan Kelleher who'll throw in here as Peter O'Mahony watches on. England have made a change as well. And Chandler Cunningham South is on for Ollie Chesham by the looks of things.
Chesham's still there.
Oh no, he's still there. Sam Underhill.
Underhill, yeah, he's on for Underhill.
Okay, stay there, stay there. Advantage in the air. Take the arm.
Challenging in the air. So Ireland will have a penalty if nothing comes of this.
Okay, no advantage. Number 4 playing the arm. Penalty of 15.
Against the toe J.
This is a really, without stating the obvious, 5 minutes to go in a sin bin, 18 minutes left in the game. But it is a 3-point game, and that is important for Ireland. They've been in these positions before. They know they have to build some pressure with England because they haven't been able to do that right across this game. They've scored tries, but they've been opportunist tries. They haven't been able to build a sustained period of pressure on England. They're in the 22 now. Accuracy, building pressure, and the score will come.
I think from an England perspective as well, you've got that man advantage. You can afford to go slightly harder at the line out here. New hooker on, Kelleher. Just been put under big pressure by Itoje, although he gave away the penalty. England will want to put aerial pressure. That's a really good drill. Henderson cuts it out the sky.
Kelleher's been brilliant line-out wise so far this championship. 11 from 11 now, faultless.
No, lost it.
As he was when he needed to be just then. Gibson Park to Jack Conan. Took a similar journey off the replacements bench here 2 years ago to score an important try. Kelleher.
No.
Paul Stewart with the tackle for England. It's been a while since England had to go through some serious defensive work, but they're going to have to do it now. Crowley, oh, nearly. Keena wasn't far away. Henshaw was there as well.
It's the right play. You can see what Crowley's done. They're coming up on the outside, shoot back in from the inside. A little bit more sympathy on that pass, or a bit of empathy on that pass.
Okay, use it now.
And it's the right play. Just the execution again for Ireland.
Just like England in the first half, 2 runners running on the same line. Henshaw maybe wasn't the primary option. Could have done with going across his face, and there might have been the break. One further pass infield.
Crowley takes it in. England trying to make sure he doesn't get it out. But he does just with the help of Murray, and now Ronan Kelleher. High-end quality replacing high-end quality as far as Ireland's hookers are concerned. Porter. Murray. And Crowley. Back to Murray. 15 minutes to go. England ahead by 3.
His counter right is fine. Ball was out.
Nearly England's ball, but not quite. It's Henshaw. He's tackled by Lawrence and Slade working hard, but look how well Gibson Park has done to get that away, and now Hugo Keenan, but it went forwards. Irish voices, but in vain.
Just one crucial hand from an England perspective, dislodging the ball. It's Itoje's fingertips that rescue England.
Let's have a chat with Rory Best, former Ireland captain, who's here with us today. What are you saying now, Rory? I'm reinstating you as Ireland captain. What are your words?
Yeah, I think they just have to keep their composure here. You know, it's probably a position they haven't been in well, a long time. Well, certainly the New Zealand game in the World Cup, but they can't let the game get too ragged. They can't let the game just get away from them. They're very good when they have the ball. They keep the structures. They keep those options, loads of options for their 9 and their 10. And they've just got to stick to that process and trust. This is a team that doesn't panic.
We're seeing Tyke Byrne doing a lot of talking down there. Who are the big talkers? Who are the faces that you're looking to right now?
I think it's those older guys. It's Tyke Byrne and Ian Henderson, who both captain for their province. And you're sort of looking around, you know, you get Pete back on, and you know they just need that little bit of composure. This is where these guys are going to stand up. The bench are going to have to make an impact, because England are playing fantastically well at the minute. And for England, they can't afford to sit back. They've got to keep attacking this, and you know, they've scored 3 tries. They've got to have that mentality to go and try to score another one.
England making changes. Elliot Daly's on, Alex Dombrandt is on, and this man is on. Danny Kerr, a centurion for the 100th time in an England shirt. And perhaps he's told us for the last time here at Twickenham. 21-year-old debutant back in 2008 against the All Blacks at Eden Park 16 years later. Here he is, charged from scrum half with them, trying to guide England home to what will be one of their best wins in a long, long time.
Just interesting that England have brought Daly on for Henry Slade in the outside centre channel. Just might see a slightly less aggressive England defence, but maybe slightly more accurate, but keeping Feyu Oboso and Freeman, who've both looked razor sharp with ball in hand on the field.
Dombrandt on for Ollie Chesham, by the way. He's gone to number 8. Ben Earl now hanging off the side of the scrum, as you can see. Position he finds himself more often than not for his club, Saracens.
Hold up, lads! Where's the ball?
England hoping for the penalty, but not coming. Smith instead to Daly. Oh, and Daly got castled by Aki brilliantly. And now Gibson Park. England wanting more time than they had, and Byrne and Crowley and Lowe and Conan on his own on that far left-hand side. Keeps the ball in play, and Ireland can go again. Still without their skipper, Peter O'Mahony. 60 seconds left on his yellow card. Henderson. Stretch and a tumble, holds on to the ball, but the stretch and the tumble in the end allowed Earl to get over it, and England have the penalty.
Oh, big impact again from Ben Earl. Does really well to survive the clear out, get his fingers latched in under the ball, show a clear attempt to lift it from the referee.
It's that tiny separation. That's not even a separation.
We got a neck roll from 15 as well.
Again,
so
it just shows the impact on accuracy, because the pass to Henderson is slightly further ahead of him than he wants. He's dipping, which means he's got no option but to go to ground early, and that's what gives Earl that fraction of a second to win the battle of shoulders, get in. If that pass is perfect, Henderson can pick his line, stay on his feet for an extra couple of steps, and Earl doesn't get an opportunity there.
Chandler coming in south for England. Dan waits, Kerr trots up.
That's one stop.
Smith with his hands out, instead it's Daly. Tackled by Crowley. Freeman running hard to offer himself on this near left-hand side, but kick was too long and Gibson Park had an age. Where are your thoughts, Gordon Darcy?
Yeah, after the kick.
Jeez, I don't know. It's
okay, just wait. Thin bin coming back.
Just seeing Ryan Baird coming back on for Peter O'Mahony after the yellow card. For Ireland, it's just a case of there's still this game to be played. It's still in it, but yet they seem to be chasing almost at every opportunity. Building phases, territory, possession. It just hasn't been there consistently for Ireland. At every turn, England seem to be able to kill their momentum, and Ireland have struggled to rebuild it.
Interesting factors. Having Marcus Smith on for England, so often when teams get into a lead, you think, I'll bring a 10 on that can manage the game and see it out. England can't afford to do that. If England sit back and defend this lead, they will get beaten. They want to keep playing, and maybe Marcus Smith's presence will help them do that.
The quality of the Ireland squad that Ryan Baird can come off the bench. Baird, the Leinsterman. Never lost a test match, Ryan Baird, but that record under threat here. He's won all previous of his 18. With all the 10 minutes to go. As Knight settles above Twickenham. Gibson Park. On the wing because of the head injuries initially to Calvin Nash and then his replacement Kieran Frawley. Conan. Martin's tackle. The best of Murray's kicks. And England could profit from it.
Possibly something England were guilty of in the first half. Ireland slowing the tempo down. One of the things that is creeping into the English defence, just a little bit of fitness. That pace off the line isn't as feverish as it was in the first half. There is opportunities for Ireland to attack if they can be brave enough.
That's a really important tackle from Baird, who got down low, stopped England.
Holding on, good play,
Porter and co did the rest.
The danger. You say England want to keep playing, but that is the danger. If you get caught with a chop tackle like that, fall at Kelleher's feet, all the support players have to work round, and Kelleher's already not locked in on the ball and really need some big distance here from this kick. Ireland, they need to get into that danger zone where they can threaten England with their driving play as well as their play off the line out. It's that variation that makes Ireland so difficult to defend against.
He's on, Cian Healy, for the 128th time, pulling alongside Ronan O'Gara. Only Brian O'Driscoll has played more for his country now. And Healy immediately into a really promising situation for Ireland. A reminder that an Ireland win of any kind, and they're the champions, with a weekend to spare after Scotland slipped up in Rome earlier on. England protecting the 3-point lead. But Kelleher and Ireland hopeful. Murray, Aki to Henshaw.
Advantage, not rolling.
Oh, and England concede the penalty. Murray, Henderson, Crowley, lovely away, and this is the score for Lowe! Yes! Maybe. The championship securing score. And Ireland off the ropes.
That is, we knew they were going to build an opportunity to score. The question was going to be, would they be able to take it away? Look at this, Jack Crowley controlling everything. Gets the little tip pass, but look at Gibson Park, the spatial awareness, knowing the player is going to come up. He is going to try and take him man and ball. Gibson Park, ball away in one step, and knowing James Lowe, knowing he can finish that try from there out. Fantastic composure and skill execution under the most intense pressure.
The absolute quality, Ben, the ability to finish the opportunities that Ireland create.
Passing under pressure. Ireland have passed more than any other team by a mile going into this game in the championship so far. They've done a third more passes, and it's that ability to back themselves when they're under the most pressure to get round teams. And there we see another example, not afraid to play out of the back and create that space. Henderson there pulling the ball back and preserving an opportunity, and then the execution from the likes of Gibson Park. What a brilliant, I can't underestimate, well, you can't underestimate how good this pass is from Gibson Park. There's Henderson, just controls his feet, knows he's coming, but he, not only that, the ball's on his right shoulder, so not only does he have to stop and plant his feet properly, he's got to transfer the ball right round his body before the big shot comes in from Furbank. Brilliant from Gibson Park.
This has been some way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
9, use the ball.
What are we going to do when the Six Nations is over? One more weekend to come, and as we head into that weekend, Ireland may well already be champions, but do England have another word to say? 6 minutes to go. Kerr. Daly. Daly's presence on the pitch will remind Ireland that they can't afford to concede a penalty anywhere near halfway. Oh, and they have. Now.
There's time on the clock. Big decision here for the England leadership. Yes, it's probably within Daly's range, but do they back themselves that they'll get another opportunity if they kick down in?
He strode straight across to his clubmate Maro Itoje and said, "This is mine."
It's a shot to nothing, isn't it? If they miss it, they'll probably get the ball back around about the same part of the pitch.
That's I wouldn't say cynical, but that is an experienced Maro Itoje cleaning out the ruck but making sure that Ian Henderson is rolling over the ball. That's a well-worked penalty from Itoje, and as he said, it's a free kick to nothing, free hit to nothing. And I suppose we now understand why Elliot Daly was brought on for Henry Slade, that if they needed needed this boot in the final few minutes, they'd have it.
Yeah, no. Thanks, Sam.
Have the legs, not the direction.
22.
It might have been beyond the range of Owen Farrell. It certainly wasn't beyond the range of Elliot Daly. However, into the final 5 minutes, and Ireland still ahead by 2. Crowley happy for England to reset from deep. Cunningham South at full steam. Stopped bravely by Tyke Byrne. Itoje, Smith, Daly again. Ooh, pushes that just a little forward maybe. No, the pass was good. Look at how Kelly told us. However, England's next job is to get it down onto the ground and win it back, and they have. Itoje, down.
Ball was lifted there, yeah.
Alex Dombrand, first time since those World Cup warm-ups that we've seen him for England. Little no-look pass from Smith. Off he goes, on his bike. Needs some white-shirted support because Ireland will be over him quickly. Not quite quickly enough for Bundy Aki. Ball loose, Ireland ball. Important Ireland ball. The kick not working for England, and Henderson wins it back for Ireland. Finlay Beaglan. Low.
Hold on, let me try.
As far as he can. To Furbank. And now Ben Earl, who's had another colossal performance today for England. Smith. Dombrand. Freeman. Not much room, but did well. And then Foreman, Furbank, equally to keep it alive, but now we'll have the line out.
Bit of an error not to kick the ball off the field from Low there, just get that clock ticking down, but give England another opportunity to attack. Maybe just wanted the trust
the trust Jameson Gibson Park has. 99 percent of players, they bite in on that, and it creates that free run up the touchline. Gibson Park, he trusts Henshaw is going to get to Drumbrand, and then just pushes off and makes his defensive read.
The break from Smith was superb. He's injured himself, Chandler Cunningham South, but the no-look pass from Smith to give him the collision win, to get him through and then let him get his hands free, and he gets the ball back, stays alert. But again, the scramble defence from Ireland, so good. And they challenge hard at the breakdown, just enough to slow England's ball down. Danny Kerr has to go fighting for it, and there goes England's opportunity.
I think England might have to end this match down to 14, because Chandler Cunningham South doesn't look good. He's going to have to hobble off. Doubt about him clearly ahead of England's final game against France in Lyon. They have emptied the bench, so they'll end the match down to 14. So as it stands,
we're good to go, is it?
Ireland will be champions with a week to spare, and they will head into the final game against Scotland in Dublin with another Grand Slam up for grabs. However, 2 minutes of hard work to negotiate first ball. This isn't the time to lose your first line out of the championship if you're Ronan Kelleher. Went bravely to the tail to find Ian Henderson.
Yeah, it's inside.
One of those men that you bet your life on.
No. Use it
more than 90 seconds to go. The old phrase, game management there.
No doubt about that one going into the stands. England will get one more shot at this. Good attacking position for them. But that clock is still ticking. It's an injury. Just wonder whether the referee will stop it now for the treatment.
It's Jack Conan who is down. I'm looking around at the faces around us, and everyone's got a smile on their face. It's been one of those games, whether you're English or Irish or neutral, there's not so much of a smile on your face right now, Gordon. You look like you're feeling the nerves, but it's been a game for everybody to enjoy.
It's the game we wanted, isn't it? They say regardless of who was winning it, you wanted them to earn it. You didn't want a team just to dominate, to go out and the other team to capitulate, and that has been, we haven't used any sort of that terminology or wording around that. It has been a full-blooded, absolute contest from the first minute. Both teams leaving everything out there.
This is it. All the songs have been sung. We've got a little more than 60 seconds to go. And England reaching for what would be a famous win. But right now, it's Ireland's championship. A minute to go. Atojo, Kerr, Smith. And Dombrand lays it back, and Daly, who's added a little bit of oomph, and then driven on by Tommy Freeman. Kerr, Smith, Feyo Oboso, he's still going. England 10 metres short. Oh, England have got the penalty. It's going to be a tight kick with that angle, but England's penalty, and maybe more with Stewart. Ireland's championship hanging by a thread. Earl. Kerr to Dan. One last big effort from Ireland. One last big one from England and Dombrand. And this is Furbank. Time up. Into the red.
Lost it. Advantage, you're on the ground.
Oh, England have got a penalty, and this one is in front of the posts. They can spin it. Smith! It's as good as England have been since the World Cup semi-final. But this time, they will win. And for Ireland, the Championship will have to wait another week. Bang goes the Grand Slam dream.
Well, an enormously brave performance from England. A couple of times they could have taken those disappointments, the George Ford missed kicks, and allowed that to be an excuse off the back of a good performance, but they have carried on playing. We've seen England at their attacking best, the best we've seen them for a couple of years. They draw the penalty advantage, and then that drop goal we spoke about earlier on in the game, being a Steve Borthwick tactic, comes to the fore at the crucial moment and take about Marcus Smith.
Yeah, you take your hat off. Whoever won this game, as he said, they were going to earn it. England earned that win. Great composure in the final few minutes. Marcus Smith, take a serious bow, kept that attacking intensity that was starting to wane from England. But ultimately, Ireland will look at that and go, 2 penalties, 5 metres from the line. Can we control that? But penalties come from pressure. England put pressure on Ireland. They didn't have the answers.
One of those games that will live long in the memory, longer if it's an English memory. Ireland beaten by an England side, a resurgent England side. Ben Earl, the man of the match. They've won back some love today, and they've won back some respect. It was as good a performance as those who follow England will remember for a long, long time. Ireland with work to do. And they will look forward to a game against Scotland in Dublin next weekend. England will fly down to Lyon to play France, with plenty still to play for. As it stands, the championship's still there. An extraordinary game, snatched by England at the end, and Marcus Smith's drop goal. So much to reflect on, and we will do that. Final score at Twickenham, England 23, Ireland 22.